I was talking fantasy football with my friends the other day.
I didn't send the thing to him, though.
I didn't either.
Well, Josh? Well, look who's back. Where the hell have you been? At home, sitting in your asses? Go away now, Josh. Actually, my name is Alan.
I'm a dorky white kid with a Kupp Scott bandana on his head.
Bravo.
Oh.
November.
Tango. On.
Football.
We were just testing you guys to see if you were paying attention. Did the music cut out or no? Put it in the comments. Let us know.
Last week it didn't. For the first time in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
no, it did again. So I think Josh did something that I don't know about. But anyway.
It's my fault.
No, of course it is. But anyway, back here again for yet another week of Bent on Fantasy Football. I'm Alan, this is Josh.
Week 11 in the NFL.
Week 11, yep. We got some stuff to talk about today, but I want to jump right into our beers this week.
Okay.
Because we got some interesting stuff with our beers.
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So my beer says, "Our cup runneth out." Yes, you know why. You know why.
Yeah.
You're about the Cooper Kupp injury, which effectively ends our Cup watch for the season.
Yes. Well, we can still watch him. I mean, he's not going to do anything. The numbers aren't going to change.
He's not going to get any records, though, this year. He's not going to hit any records with missing.
Although, if we say that, he might come back and...
He can't make up 4 games
at
that pace. There's
I know.
No way. No way. But anyway, so yeah, that's also going to lead us into some other stuff later when we talk about what's got me bent. But, Josh, tell us what you have on your label.
Okay. My label says 8 billion. And that's with 9 zeros for all you guys scoring at home. But as of yesterday, the UN has reported the world's population surpassed 8 billion for the first time ever. So where are all our subscribers? Now, mostly we'd like to thank Herschel Walker and Nick Cannon for that population jump, because without them we could have really never done it. So.
Yeah, right. We'd have not even been close to that 8 billion mark.
Oh, no.
So, all right, let's pop these babies open.
All
Guys,
right.
why don't you join us like you do every single week? Pop open a cold one, sit back, enjoy the show.
8 billion, that tastes good.
Mhm.
Yum.
My cup haven't run it out yet,
I know.
but it will.
It will.
I guarantee you, before the end of the show, it will. All right, let's talk about our cup watch being gone and
Our Cup watch is officially on IR for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So Cup has had an awesome season up to this point, and effectively our potential Hill watch is also gone.
Oh, that took a big old dump last week too. So
that crapped the bed big time.
yeah, we should start doing a Fields watch for rushing yards.
We should.
We'll give it a couple more weeks to see how it goes.
Yeah.
But
so guys, don't forget also to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you pass out the video to other people. Make sure that they see it. Get some comments in there. Let us know what you think. Just get us out there though. We're looking at trying to get 1,000 subscribers. That's been our goal since the beginning of probably last season or the middle of last season.
The beginning of time, it seems like.
Yeah, and we're getting slightly closer every week. We've got 33 subscribers now, so
yeah,
we're almost there. Almost there. We just need you guys to get us over the huge hump.
Yes.
So like, subscribe, share also, please.
Yes.
You
know what? I'm going to be disappointed because we don't get to do Cup Watch anymore. Just so you know. So
yeah, I know, and I wanted something, but yeah.
That's the only thing that made it worthwhile, is having to sit next to you for almost an hour every week.
Well, yeah, that, and I'm such an amazing
prognosticator. Not really, but
that,
neither one of us.
That, and I'm such a good influence on you, Josh. You know what? You've become a better fantasy football owner since we've known each other. I mean, not much, but
well, I mean, you got to respect your elders, And,
you have to,
so,
of course.
Yeah.
All right, so stop talking. All
yes,
right.
sir.
Let's get into our start and sits.
Okay.
You start us off this week because you're doing the starts.
I'm doing the starts.
And I've got the sits.
Or in my case, the sharts. Little recap. Last week, I went 2-2. I had sits. Stafford didn't play. I didn't know he was out. Did you?
I knew after we did the show, I knew that, but it was one of those I knew it was going to be right at the wire.
Before the show, I thought it was questionable, but I didn't think. I didn't know.
I didn't know for sure that he'd be out. No.
So Stafford. I don't know. I want to take that as a win, but I have to because I got to take them few and far between when I can. Foreman killed me. Hawkinson I did all right with, and then Metcalf scored 10. So I would say that's a push. So 2-2. I'll take that. Allen went 1-3 last week. Kirk really killed it for you. But other than that, Russell Wilson had a decent game. He only scored 13 fantasy points. You know, that's what hurt you.
On paper, the numbers look good, but realistically, when you break it down to fantasy points...
Well, I would argue on the field the numbers look good, but on paper the numbers didn't look good.
Well, I mean, 285 and a touchdown doesn't sound horrible, but you got to have some yardage in there with it.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that
bonuses
pick kind of hurt too. So.
Yeah, that didn't help anything.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go first this week. I like Taylor Heineke this week playing at Houston. Man, he looked really good against Philly, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And Philly, that team they were looking almost like they were unstoppable, but they're not.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
A lot of teams are. We'll get into this in a couple minutes, too, after this segment maybe, but there's a lot of teams that are not looking like they did a few weeks ago. So I like Taylor Heineke against Houston. In fact, Washington on the road at Houston is something like a 3.5-point favorite. We talked about this. And we'll talk about Houston and that NFC East here also, right after this. But so that's what I got for quarterback. Darrell Henderson, I really like him at New Orleans or against New Orleans. I don't like that New Orleans team. I mean, today a big article came out on one of the big major sports outlets. Those fans they're fed up. They're calling for Peyton to be out. You know, that team is just in shambles right now.
It is. That's a rough situation right there.
Especially with the Kupp injury, I think Darrell Henderson's going to see a lot more work.
Yeah. We'll talk about some of the other players in that game, too.
Yeah.
What we're looking at with them.
Yeah. And then my guy, Brandon Ayuk. I love him against Arizona this week.
You love him, period.
I do. For a couple reasons. But anyway, I like Ayuk against my Cards this week. He's getting the targets. I mean, Debo is pretty much taking a back seat to Ayuk since week 1 or 2.
Yeah,
you know, it's his target share. That's it.
And Arizona's defense is not the toughest.
Oh,
they've seen their better.
They leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah. So I like that pick as well.
Okay. I like T.J. Hawkinson this week against Dallas. Minnesota's at home. His target share has gone up in the last 2 weeks since he's been there. I think you had him to sit 2 weeks ago, didn't you? I had him to sit last week. I won, and you didn't, by the way, on our sets. But this is the first week. We're going to hopefully, I don't know, maybe we'll start a streak. But I like him against Dallas this week. And that Minnesota team they're sneakily almost putting themselves in elite status. 8-1. That's the quietest 8-1 I remember in a long time for an NFL team.
It is. Well, that's because it's coming out of that division. If it was out of the East or one of the other divisions, you see more. But this division has been
I don't know that they knocked off one of the elite AFC teams on the road this week.
I'm just saying that this division though has been year over year a quiet division. You don't see
one of the worst in football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Consistently worst.
Yes.
We'll say that.
Yes.
So to see not much attention being paid to Minnesota when they're 8-1, I get it.
I do too.
I don't agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah. And they're tied for first, the best record in the NFL now since Philadelphia is no longer 8-0. They're undefeated.
Yep.
All right, so those are my starts. What do you got for your shits, Alan?
No, not my shits. My sits. I've got the sits this week, and it's not those tacos.
Okay, all right.
Jacoby Brissett this week. I've got him sitting down. I don't like Brissett, period.
Okay.
As a quarterback. Bad matchup for him. I don't see anything good coming from him this week. You want to weigh in on it?
I do.
You're over there.
You know I like Brissett more than you do.
I know.
He's got some weapons, especially if Njoku comes back this week. Now, I know Buffalo a couple weeks ago, I said they're elite tier. They're heads above everybody else in the AFC. I got to put my foot in my mouth. They've been pretty porous the last couple weeks.
The last couple weeks they have. But that's a good, solid defense. Overall, that's a good, solid defense.
It is. I think the pure volume, Brissett may surprise some people, but he could also throw 4 picks.
One of these days we're going to have a start and sit, and you're going to have a start player, and I'm going to have him as a sit player too. And then
we got to argue
about how right I am. Yes, exactly. Okay. So for my running back, I'm going to go with Deonta Foreman.
Okay, I like that one.
He's up against Buffalo. Buffalo's got a tough
Baltimore.
Or I'm sorry, we were talking Buffalo.
Yes.
Baltimore's got a tough run defense. They're allowing an average of like 92 yards per game. Touchdowns, they've given up 9 touchdowns this season. Kind of middle of the pack when it comes to that. So not so much there, but
that's a lot considering the average rushing yards that they've given up. You know.
Right, it is, but a lot of those are short yardage touchdowns too.
Mm-hmm.
So tough defense. Don't like the matchup. I don't like the idea of him jumping in and being the number 1 running back right off from the get go. So.
And I think almost half of those running touchdowns are from quarterbacks actually against Buffalo. I know Josh Allen hit him up. Who else was it hit him up? It might have been Brissett a couple weeks ago did it as well. But Dalton, no, not Dalton. Oh my God, Burrow. Didn't Burrow have one against him? I think he did.
He might have, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm close to 50% of those rushing touchdowns are giving up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am, because I am more than not. I think those are the quarterbacks anyway. So, yeah, I don't see the volume. Baltimore's a 2-touchdown favorite at home. If that game script goes like the experts think it will, that game is going to be out of control soon.
Exactly. Yeah.
Deontay is not going to get the volume.
That's a big part of it, and being that, like I said, he's just stepping up to the number 1 role right now. I don't see a whole lot of potential there. So that's my pick for running back.
Okay.
Let's jump on to wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now, this may or may not surprise some people. Allen Robinson's my sit this week. That Rams offense is in shambles right now.
So is that New Orleans defense, who they're playing against, though.
I understand that, but Matthew Stafford may or may not be back. If Matthew Stafford's not back, sit Allen Robinson every week that Stafford isn't back, because without Stafford, that there's no chemistry there. There's no hope for they got to start from scratch.
Yeah,
and that's a duo that hasn't worked together very much. And Allen Robinson's having a horrible season.
Yeah, and even with that Kupp injury, I like Van Jefferson more than I do Allen Robinson to really take over that receiving game. So I like that.
I mean, Allen Robinson's a heck of a receiver. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, maybe it was him watching Kupp.
Well, if the team doesn't have chemistry, then they don't have chemistry,
right.
So.
All right, so tight end. I struggled with tight end a lot this week because, we were talking before the show. I don't even know who to go with because, tight ends have been so all over the board this year.
Yeah, Dulcich scored 2 touchdowns like 4 weeks ago, and people were trying to trade him.
Yeah.
And now, where did he go?
Yeah, Gerald Everett's hot for the first 3-4 weeks of the season, and then he cools off, and then he picks up, and it's just...
Yeah, Travis Kelce's hot for, oh, wait a minute, he's always hot, so, yeah.
Hot for the last 3 seasons or 4 seasons, and,
yeah.
And so, I don't know how that goes, but... so anyway, this week my pick is Robert Tonyan.
Okay.
Up against Tennessee's defense, pretty tough defense when it comes to tight ends. So.
And I like this. The funny thing is, Alan and I were talking right before the show when he told me his sit, and I said, "Oh God," because Alan's sitting him on his starting sits. I just dropped him today to pick up Moreau from Las Vegas, so that's a double whammy right there. So what that means, guys, is. He's probably going to score 4 touchdowns and get 200 yards on Thursday.
You should probably not listen to our advice, but you'd be wrong and I'd be right because I think he's still going to have a bad week this week. And
yeah.
I mean, he hasn't really been performing the whole season. I don't know why anybody would think Tennessee would be a different story.
No. So. Let's get into those few teams we wanted to talk about. So,
sure.
All right, I'll start it off here now. I don't remember the last time through 10 weeks of a season, and maybe you can correct me on this, where you have two divisions in football, not one, but 2 divisions of football where all 4 of the teams are 500 or above. You got the AFC East and the NFC East. Now, if you would have told me at the beginning of the season the AFC East would have all 4 teams would have been above 500, including the Jets, I would have said you're crazy.
Well, NFC East too.
Yeah, that's what I said. NFC East.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst team in that division is 5-5, so they're just at 500.
I mean, 1 year ago, all those teams were terrible.
Yeah.
Every team in both divisions were terrible for the most part.
And you could look back at it historically over the last 10, 12 years and say those are the worst divisions in the AFC and the NFC, and they're both above 500. through 10 games. I just don't remember that happening in a long time.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird thing, like, a blue full moon type of thing,
Yeah, a blood moon.
Yeah, blood moon. Yeah, so that is kind of weird. There was another team you wanted to bring up.
I wanted to bring up Buffalo because, like I mentioned when we were doing our start sit, I said on this show that Buffalo, and they were playing damn well. They were playing good. They still are. But I said they're the elite of the elite, cream of the crop, even above the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. But yeah, like I said, I got to put my foot in my mouth. They have not been playing well.
No.
And in fact, they lost to the Jets, which the Jets are a decent team this year. Okay,
they don't take anything away from the Jets.
But however, that we talked about that sneaky Minnesota team that's 8-1 now. Do you remember what happened at the end of that game? Buffalo was up a touchdown. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah, they were up. Or no, it was 27-23, I believe, or one of them. I don't know, but all they had to do was stop Minnesota deep in Minnesota's territory, 4th and 18. Come on, guys. And you give it up, you end up losing the game in overtime. Elite teams just don't do that. So, I don't know why Buffalo. They're an 8-point favorite this week against a good. I think they're playing the Browns, which I think is a decent team. But let's see if they can really bounce back because I don't know what's going to happen if they lose this game.
Yeah, it's been kind of a roller coaster with even when they have the best named player in the NFL.
Of course, Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster, though, on both sides of the ball, too, if you think about it.
It has, yeah.
Defense and offense. Can they put it all together before the season ends? Maybe. Are they going to do it this week? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, it's hard to say. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, to be honest with you. So,
I do too. I do too.
We'll see. We'll get into that when we spin the wheel of WOMF.
If we land on it. So, and then 2 more things we're going to talk about. Remember?
What's that?
One of them has to do with our guy Justin Fields.
Yep.
And the other one has to do with the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Which one do you want to start with?
I'll start with Justin Fields.
Okay.
All right. I'll let you jump into the Cowboys. All right. Justin Fields. We were talking before the show, and I told Josh, I said, you know what, Justin Fields. I did not realize what an athlete he is until I realized what an athlete he is.
Yeah.
This last week, I seen it. I seen it once before. I've seen it a couple times here and there. The guy's got a lot of talent. He may not be the best pocket passer in the world. That'll come to him a little bit, but he's playing his game right now.
He is.
The interesting thing, and I was telling Josh, I said, I've never had this before that I can remember as a Bear fan, to be excited at this point in the season about next season.
Yeah, and I don't remember you ever giving up this, or not giving up, but being content with the way the team's going, continuing to lose at this point in the season.
I'm fine with it because, like we said before, they're not restructuring or they're not rebuilding right now. They're tearing down.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get everything torn down, which hopefully will be by the end of the season, they've got some draft picks next year to lean on.
Yeah.
If they can put some talent around Justin Fields and they can get somebody on the other side of the ball to fix the holes that they left in the defense.
If they can end up with one of the top 5 draft picks, they are going to get an elite difference maker from day one on defense.
Yeah.
So
and that's the big thing, If they can add to their offense and then patch some holes on defense, it's gonna be a tough Bears team.
It is. Year. It really is. It really is.
And it's been a long time since I've had a lot of confidence in being able to say that's going to be a tough Bear team next year. But I really think it will be.
Yeah. Oh, and then the last thing, Brady is 2-0 since getting divorced. Did you know that? I did see that. That wasn't the last thing we were going to talk about, but I did see that pop up in. It was in a meme actually, earlier this week. But Dallas Cowboys were going into this game with the Packers. Remember how much weren't they up by 14 or more going in after the third quarter?
I think so, yeah.
Dallas Cowboys, previous to this game, when leading by 14 or more at the start of the fourth quarter, were 195-0. And what do you know? What happened, Alan? They lost. So they're 195-1. That's just inexcusable. I mean, you should just retire with a record like that. That's horrible.
Yeah. I mean, who could ever,
Yeah, who could go back from that? So.
Yeah, who could bear that?
Oh, and the Bears are leading the NFL in rushing yards, over 200 per game.
It does sound a lot like my fantasy record, though.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
It is close. It's real close.
More like 195 and 199 or something like that.
No. I'm way.
All right, well, let's move on, okay?
I'm way above.
Your arm's gonna get sore from patting yourself on the back, so stop it.
All right, let's talk about what's gub.
What's gum? Okay.
You start us off.
I'll go
What's gub?
first because this is gonna be real quick. Election deniers, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm not talking about Republicans.
Now, before we get into this, normally we don't talk about politics on the show, right? It's kind of our policy to not talk about politics, religion, and abortion. That's the three things we try to stay away from. We will make jokes about it and stuff like that. He's going to get into a little bit more this week than we normally do, but that's okay because it's very
it's neutral. It's neutral. I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. We just had the midterms this past week, over a week ago, in fact, 8 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you still have people, you have Democrats, you have Republicans still saying, refusing to concede.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting tired of this crap. You know what I mean? Because I voted, you voted. I don't care what the results are. You know what I mean? If you trust the people, we're the ones who vote for you. Mm-hmm. If you don't have confidence in who we elect to office, then you shouldn't be running for office in the first place.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Suck up your pride. Whoever you people are, men, women, Republicans, Democrats, just concede. Go with the will of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Grow up.
Yep, I agree. So what's got me bent this week?
Oh yeah.
Right. The Carolina Panthers, the San Francisco 49ers,
Rams.
The Rams, and to a lesser extent, Las Vegas.
Yes.
All right. The reason that they've got me bent is any team that leans on one single player as much as those teams are leaning on their running back or their players, I should say, should know that that player's gonna end up injured. Okay?
Look what happened in Carolina, like you just mentioned, 2 years in a row. Come on.
Yep. Yeah. So McCaffrey injured 2 years in a row. Carolina. It starts out this year, still the workhorse there, gets sent to San Francisco. He's doing fine now, but they're doing the same thing. They're leaning on him, and they're leaning on him just as much, if not more, than Carolina did.
Yeah, and I really hope he doesn't get injured because I love watching the guy play, but it's only a matter of time.
It is. And the same thing with the Rams, Cooper Kupp. The workhorse there, obviously the workhorse. When a team puts their entire playbook around a player and centers everything around that player, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
And that and running back by committee are the two biggest things that really irked me forever.
Yes.
And to a lesser extent, like I said, the Rams or the
Raiders.
The Raiders use Josh Jacobs a lot. He was injured last year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
They use him a ton. This year, I've noticed that they use him. When they use him a ton. When they don't, he has a normal day or a mediocre day or whatever. But when they use him like crazy. So again, to a lesser extent, but still the same concept. That and like I said, running back by committee are the two things that a team has to have a solid running back to be successful. Period. They have to have a solid running back, and it should be a workhorse for fantasy purposes or for any other purposes. It should be a workhorse. I agree, but you can't. Like I said, design your entire playbook around one player.
Like Tennessee did with Henry.
Yes.
He broke down. He got injured. But
same thing.
And they're still doing it this year to an extent. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets injured again. I don't want to see him get injured. I don't want to see guys like JT, these workhorses get injured. But it's destined to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
The more you put them in harm's way, the more likely they are to get harmed. It's just common sense. But
yes.
That being said, like I said, every team should have a workhorse. And definitely a running back workhorse. But
this is not the 1980s anymore when you can run a guy 25, 30 times.
Yeah. I've said this for a few years now, and eventually the NFL coaches will start watching the show again and will listen to this and will understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, we had them all watching until we talked about Urban Meyer, and then he got kind of his feelings hurt and told a bunch of his friends like John Gruden, "Come on, man."
But
yeah.
John Gruden, great friendship there. But
hey, he's an equally despicable human being as Urban Meyer. Just had to drop the name.
Equally despicable in a different kind of way.
Yes.
But anyway, Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Anyway, what was I saying?
You're talking about the workhorse.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thanks, Josh. So every team should have a workhorse, but they can't focus only on that one player. So, like I said, it's good for fantasy. It's good for the team itself and their production, but you got to expect that guy to get hurt.
Yes.
So that's what's got me bent.
Okay, and then a fun fact, too, about Carolina. Did you know Carolina, without Christian McCaffrey, is averaging 69 more rushing yards per game than with Christian McCaffrey?
Actually, I did know that because you told me right before the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
All
so,
right.
Time for one of my favorite parts of the show.
Yes, and I believe you go first this week.
First.
Allen for the year is 13-14. He went 2-2 last week. I'm 11-17, man. I got crushed last week, 1-3. So
you're doing much better than you normally do.
Yes, you could say that.
That was easy.
Hey, Alan, just go ahead and womp it. Come on.
All right. We're going to womp this bad boy.
All right, Alan's up first.
Hi, Virginia.
Hey, when I was writing these teams on here, there's a few duds. I hope you get one of them, honestly.
Did you give a specific dud color?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's see who we got. We got Cleveland and Buffalo. Buffalo -8, 41.5 over.
Okay. That's one of the better games, I think.
Ooh, let's see. So, Cleveland versus Buffalo. I am taking Buffalo and the 8 points underdog.
Buffalo minus the 8 points.
Favorite, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Favorite.
Buffalo -8, and then what's the over/under again?
41.5, and I'm going over on that one.
Okay, not a bad call. I mean, that's a low number for a Buffalo game.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It is. I don't think that Cleveland defense is that good.
And I think Buffalo has what it takes, even though they've kind of slipped in the last couple of weeks. I think they have what it takes to cover that eight points at home. So
And I think most of those points are going to be on one side of the ball.
they could be.
I know you don't like that.
I don't like that, but I agree with you, but I don't like it. Okay.
Different
All
color.
right, different colors. So let's see what we got here. Ooh, this game, I don't know. Kansas City and Chargers. So Kansas City's on the road. Kansas City's a 5.5 point favorite. Over under 50. Got to stick with the hot team. Kansas City minus the 5.5. Chargers, I don't know what's going on with them lately. They look really, really good against good competition, and they look really, really bad against bad competition as of late. So I like the minus 5.5 and the over 50.
Over 50. Okay.
Yep.
I like the over 50 on that. I think it's going to depend on what they get back for, or what they get for receivers, because they got a couple guys, Mike Williams being one of them. It's been injured, and they're going to be coming back pretty quick. So it really depends on who they get back and when they get them back. If they get them back this week, man, I don't like the I don't like Kansas City this week.
Well, remember DeAndre Carter is really stepping up too. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, there's some.
Josh Palmer's not looking too bad. So we'll see what happens with those guys.
Yep. So they've got some weapons there.
They do.
Especially if they get, like I said, some of these guys back.
So I have to go 7-1 in the next 2 weeks to get back to 500.
Mm-hmm.
You're only one game under 500, so you can go 3-1 this week and get back there.
Yeah, I won't. I'll go 4-0.
Whatever.
Anyway, I'm gonna.
All right, WOMF it.
All right, Wheel of Misfortune is what the WOMF is. All right.
Please be a bad one. Please be Washington, Houston.
No, it's gonna be. Oh, it's a good one. The Jets in New England.
Oh God. That's one of those ones we were talking about. New England, they're getting them the automatic 3 at home, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they are.
You over under what is that? That's in the 30s, isn't it?
38.
Oh God.
Zowie, how do you pick up under at 38? Oh my God.
It's hard to. I don't know if I've ever done. I think I might have done it once on this show, but
can I pick 38 right on the dot?
no, you can't.
Damn.
If it hits, you lose both, though. How's that? So
can I just pick 39? Because that's probably. I mean, I'm inclined to go over, but oh my gosh, 38. You know what? I'm gonna go over.
I know you are.
I'll stick with over. I'll stick with over. I was gonna change my mind, but I changed my mind about changing my mind.
Okay.
So I decided not to.
Cool.
So I went over.
All right. So are you gonna pick the 3 points either way, or are you just gonna pick the 38 and?
No, I'm just gonna pick the 38. I'm good. Damn, I knew you were gonna hit me on that.
So-
I'm taking the Jets.
Jets +3.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the way the Jets are playing as
I
of
do
late,
too.
especially with our guy James
And
Robinson there.
if my man Jamarcus is watching, then he'll like that pick too. That's
Yeah.
his team. But yep.
All right, ready? I'm gonna WOMF it.
Womp.
No, gotta go again.
Yeah. You know womp right. I think this is the first time you've had to spin over.
Was that orange or?
That's orange.
That's orange. All right, let's see what I got. Oh God, Tennessee and Green Bay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't think it is. Tennessee at Green Bay. Green Bay minus the 3. Primetime Lambeau game. I got to take the Packers. Even though I don't like them that much, but
You got to?
primetime
Alright,
in Green Bay, it's hard to really root against them. Or
No, it's not.
well, bet against them. Okay,
Yeah.
and then the over under on that is 41. I'm gonna take. I don't usually do this. I'm gonna take the under 41. Now it's going to be 48-45, like that Detroit game was a little while ago.
All right,
so we'll see what happens. Now we do want to bring up one thing, just to mention. Sad situation happened with the University of Virginia football team. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but a couple members of the football team lost their lives. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the friends and family and the university in general. So
absolutely. Hope your healing is fast and everything. Something good comes out of it.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've womped.
We've gubbed.
We've gubbed. It's time for us to LSS.
And we cupped too, to a certain extent.
Yeah,
yes.
we did cupped. We did cupped. So it's time for us to LSS. Remind you to like, subscribe, and share. Again, get our faces out there, get our names out there, and actually, I'm sure we'll make people laugh. All you have to do is just watch us for 10 minutes, and either you'll laugh out of joy or you'll laugh out of pity. One of the two.
Do you remember watching, and it was in the book too, the biography about Howard Stern. Do you remember in the movie when they were looking at the ratings, and the network exec says, people that like the Howard Stern show watch for an average of 45 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. And then he says, but people that hate the Howard Stern show watch for an average of an hour and a half a day, or listen for an average of an hour and a half a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to like us, dude, to watch.
Yeah. Sit in front of your phone for how long has this show been? 32 minutes.
This is a quick one. We did over 50 minutes the other week, so.
We're working on 33 minutes. We just have 20 more seconds to go.
All right, we don't want to lose the few subscribers we have, so let's just... James Robinson, we want you to subscribe, and Josh Allen, and we got a lovely place for jerseys right up here, guys, so...
Yes, we do. But yeah, James Robinson. Definitely get the word out there. We want James Robinson on the show.
What do you think has a better chance of us getting a James Robinson jersey on the wall signed, or me getting to 500 on my WOMF picks?
I'm pretty sure that the odds of both suck.
Yes. I agree. Hey, I resemble that remark. So.
Yeah. Hey, no, seriously though, from 2 Rock 40s to another Rock 40, and James, we want you on the show, or we want an email from you. We want some kind of response from your camp, if you will.
Or at least comment on the show.
Yeah, do that.
Just
go into what is it? What's that thing called? It's YouTube. Yeah, go on the
interwebs,
YouTube.
I think.
The interwebs?
Yeah, you can go on the line.
Yeah, go on the line to the interwebs, and then go to the YouTube, okay? And then we want you to just comment. That's all you have to do.
Yes.
Yep. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to have so many fake comments.
I know, right?
Awesome. All right.
I wonder if they're going to be good thing we're not on Twitter. Can you imagine the fake Twitter verified account comments we'd get?
Yeah. Fantasy football is the greatest. All this kind of stuff.
Another one I didn't tell you about. Mario was giving the fans the finger on Nintendo's website, or on Nintendo's verified account. So
Nice.
All right.
Well, we're going to get out of here this week. So without further ado, we want you to get bent
on fantasy football.